There is a demented, a sick, a depraved, psychosexual wind of psychic destruction that permeates every aspect of our society, and you can see it concentrated in entertainment, in particular movies and what kids see. It's like when you find a particular cancer, sometimes a cancer will settle in the liver or the lungs, it'll metastasize. Where is the cancer found? Where is it primarily found? That's where it's found. And that's what's critical, and that's what needs to be addressed. And when you tell people this, they think, oh, here you are again, some right-wing loser. Believe me when I tell you this. I'm anything but right-wing. You may call me a loser. I don't think I am, but that's up to you. But right-wing, left-wing, no. There's no wing to this. This is the God's honest truth. But I will tell you, there are some people who love to go into this word, and they'll like to bring up things like Illuminati. And they're thinking the Illuminati. But maybe it acts as a code word. Maybe Katt Williams was right. Maybe that's your entree. Look, if it works for you, if it works, fine. But this is not, 18th century Bavarian Weishauptian conspiracies. No. Illuminati, no. But I kind of know what you mean. It's kind of a deep state, a police state, an intel state, a shadow government, a ruling class, something, this depraved zephyr, this group of people in the world that work in this sick, demented ether. They're in the shadows and the alleys and the recesses, and they're evil. I know that. There are people who love to focus too much, I'm sorry, on stuff that is titillating to some, but makes you sound like a lunatic. You know what I'm talking about. The people who talk about spirit cooking and adrenochrome and all this other stuff. Look, I'm not suggesting that is baseless, but I do believe that you have to understand the audience. And one of the things you have to understand about this audience in particular is very simply this. And I will say this repeatedly to you. If you have a child, let's say, who asks you, where did I come from? And you describe intercourse and reproduction as, well, it was a Christmas time and your mom and I were out and, well, she was wearing the French maid's outfit and I was kind of drunk. And, well, one thing led to another and, we put a little soft porn on the TV and it became... The kids would say, what? Well, that may be the truth and that may be actually what happened, but that's not what's appropriate to explain birth to a child. Well, sometimes in order to tell people what's going on in the world, you have to introduce them very, very carefully. And I know this is something that people don't particularly care for, and I know people don't like this, but it's the God's honest truth. You can't hit people right away. Now, a while back, Katt Williams, who I think portrayed one of the most important and was part of the most important moments in recent intellectual and entertainment history, is when he appeared with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay and changed everything. And what he said was so pertinent. And I thought when he would do a follow-up with Joe Rogan, he was high out of his mind and he couldn't put words together, and that was a complete and total waste of time. But prior to that, it's important to recognize and realize the following, that what he did was he did speak to something which deals with the feminization of either black males or not black male, but black males, M-A-L-E-S, or the industry or whatever. There's proliferation of men wearing dresses, proliferation of men with questionable genders and the like. Not questionable genders, but who are transmuting between genders. What's the purpose of this? Unless there was something that was part of a deliberate and a contrived and orchestrated a move to destroy, to confound, and to subvert and derail classic, understood, prototypically rational behavior. Now, let me just explain something to you. If you want to call it Illuminati, go ahead. It's not the Illuminati. There are people, Jimmy Kimmel and others, who have made fun repeatedly of inappropriate sexual activities with children under the guise of humor. There's this demented form of humor, and again, I use that term loosely, that deals with true pedophilia and chronophilia and ephebophilia and hebophilia and a variety of making it acceptable, making it culturally okay and part of some avant-garde, some avant-garde comedy for you to make fun of and mock child abduction. I remember there was a while back. What was it, Silverman or somebody? They made fun of white trucks and kids being abducted. There were these demented people who work for various action movies and the like in Hollywood, whose Twitter accounts dealt with this constant reference to children, What is this going on? Is it the Illuminati? No. And when you say Illuminati, what you're doing is you're giving our enemies ammunition to call us crazy. I get this all the time. If I would have mentioned the other day, for example, I mentioned geoengineering, which for the first part, which has been absolutely positively identified, not only by Bill Gates and Harvard and MIT and everybody else, but it's an actual fact. Stratospheric spraying for solar radiation management and carbon dioxide removal. But if you use the term chemtrail, that's the quote conspiracy theory. And there are people to this day still believing that what you're seeing in the sky is water vapor. And they take delight. It makes them feel a part of the crew if they denounce and summarily reject those individuals who speak the truth. So let me say something. You better believe there is something absolutely incredibly evil that is directing and encouraging and applauding inappropriate sexual contact with children in every manifestation and form, and that and who are promoting a feminization and demasculinization of men and a transmogrification and a destruction of the firewall which used to exist between men and women. And it's not the Illuminati. It's not Weishaupt. It is something that you do not have to identify, and I suggest you don't, because it will give our enemies reason to dispute what we're saying by attacking the bases and the vermins that allowed you to come up with this particular view or diagnosis in the first place. You don't have to say why it is. Just tell people what it is. Just ask people, do you think this is right? Do you think a story like this? Do you think this makes sense? Do you think this movie Poor Things? Have you heard that story? Have you heard that? This is demented. We'll talk about that later on. This is demented. This is disgusting. Now, I'm not a prude. What adults do is fine. This is not meant for adults. This is meant for kids and meant to contaminate kids. That's what it's about. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember one thing. Subscribe to this. Many of you great folks who subscribe have been unsubscribed. And I read this statistic that 50 to 60% of all YouTube channels that people enjoy are not subscribed to. This is our life and blood. This is the metrics: liking, subscribing, hitting that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. This is what makes us into the intellectual jet stream. So we need you. And now please do me a great favor, my friends, or a great favor. Please comment brilliantly as you see